parents of kids with ADHD looking for solutions this 2025. If you have a child who is struggling right now and you are struggling in parenthood and you would like to restore the relationship that you have with your child, the connection you have with your child's ability to cooperate with you, listen to you, follow directions. If you would like your child to have success this year in 2025, you want to see them succeed both in academics and simply at home, to have a peaceful home life, then this is for you. 2025 is a time to thrive. And the truth is, some of us are just not there. Some of us are not in that space right now. And so I just want to hold a safe space for you to, number one, feel your feelings. Know that it is okay exactly where you're at, and know that there is hope for change. And sometimes it takes a little time, but there is always hope for change. The body has the ability to restore itself, to heal itself naturally if you give it what it needs. And so today I want to tell you a little bit about what the body does need, so that you're not endlessly searching and going in cycles looking for what the body needs to help your kiddos and to help yourself. I want to help activate your body, mind, and spirit. As a parent, that's number one. So the first step I want to talk to you about, I'll give you a couple steps in this video. The first step is looking at you. If you are run down, overwhelmed, exhausted, spinning your wheels in your own stuff, which can look like navigating your career, it can look like navigating your relationship with your spouse, it can look like trying to make ends meet, get food on the table, pay your bills, all the things adults go through. And you're not feeling settled, you're not feeling safe in your space. Excuse me. You're not feeling balanced as a person and whole as a person, then it is going to be really hard to help your child to feel restored as a person. So the very first step is working on yourself, even though that is not always what parents want to hear. When they do hear it, it always clicks. It always makes sense. Well, yeah, it does make sense because you're the root, your children came from you. You're the big tree and they're the apples. So let me dive into this a little bit further. So there's a whole new thing coming in 2025 here in this group, and this is really to help you restore and balance your child's life and yours. And that means that we get to incorporate God and our faith more into our life. That is one of the biggest missing pieces. It's one of the most biggest missing pieces in our children's lives and our family lives. And then what happens is everything becomes chaotic. So if we think about how God is in the center of everything that we do, that means the things that we eat will be because God put it there for us to eat. So if we're eating, it gets to be really simple, you guys. If we're eating food that was processed in a factory and a whole bunch of chemicals were placed on the food and it's completely artificial, you'll know, well, God did not intend for those chemicals and artificial ingredients to be in our bodies. And so if you are to trickle in that stuff in your kid's body, this is just an example, okay? If you're to trickle in that stuff in your children's body, even a little at a time, over time, the body is going to accumulate toxins, which I teach about this inside of my course. We go really deep into my course about this stuff. So sometimes I have parents really commonly struggle with, well, can't I just give my child a little bit of this and a little bit of that? It's just a little bit. Why does it matter? I hear this all the time, and I say, you can. You absolutely can. You do whatever you want, but does it feel good to be dripping toxins on your child's body just a little bit? Just a little bit, because what happens when you drip enough, you're going to accumulate you're going to have accumulated toxins. So if it's like every single day we're having these processed foods, chemical-based foods and things like that God does not intend for us to have, the result will be toxic overload. And what does that do? It affects our brain and it affects our gut. And our gut directly impacts our brain. So we will have an imbalance of hormones going on, an imbalance of neurotransmitters going on, and everything's going to get really wacky. What happens is then our mood is affected and our emotions are affected. What happens if our emotions are affected? Our decision making is affected. So our kids' ability to make decisions, smart decisions, to think before they act, okay, is directly affected by what they eat, because we make decisions based on our emotions. And our emotions come from our gut. Some of it comes from our brain, a lot of it comes from our gut. So sometimes it doesn't quite make sense as to, well, how in the world would feeding my child these processed foods, even if it's just a little bit, why would that affect their ability to make decisions? Well, so if you're seeing that, now maybe you can start to see what I'm talking about. Maybe you can connect the dots. So if you see impulsive behaviors and you're like, whoa, you just talked back to me. You didn't think before you just said that. You're arguing with me again, right? You're battling your child because they're talking back to you, lying to you, impulsively making decisions, acting out, yelling, maybe there's yelling going on, refusal to do homework, refusal to do chores, whatever these decisions are. Remember, decisions come from your emotional state. So think about a person who's actually opposite, where they're super motivated and they're super excited and they're super happy. And they're just in this excited, motivational state. They're going to make better decisions. And things don't affect them as much. They're not moody and they're not, they're just able to make decisions. Think about your ability to make decisions when you're in a good mood. And when you're not in a good mood, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even think right now. I'm too overwhelmed. I can't make a decision, right? So it's directly impacted by your emotions. So Does it mean that you cannot ever give your kids like candy or, just to be a normal human being? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all, but it just means there's a specific time that you want to do it. There's a specific quantity, like how much to do that. And there's a specific process of if you are doing that, what do you do after that? So what does that mean? That means, for example, if you're dripping toxins on them every day, like every single night they get a treat or a dessert. Really common with parents. Like, oh, it's just a little bit every day, no big deal, right? No, actually, you can give them the candy, the treats, the dessert, etc. But it needs to be, or if you want the system to work, it needs to be like a once in a while thing, like a holiday, like a birthday or a Christmas or something like that, right? So then it's just once in a while. It's not dripping on them all the time. So it's this one holiday, for example, and then you are going to need to have a process in place to cleanse out the system and detox the body to get it back into a harmonious state, which is what we go we talk about inside of my program as well, inside of my course. So, excuse me. So we have to detox the body and get it back into harmony. Now, that's why if a child is to eat a whole bunch of crap at a birthday party, but normally they are eating what God intended for them to eat, like organic whole foods and superfood nutrition. They have the right nutrition on a normal basis, but they just mess up or decide they either mess up or they just decide to have that treat during the birthday party or during Christmas, for example, like we just had, or New Year's or Thanksgiving, right? They're just deciding that. Let's just have that. Then make sure they're going into a detoxification, make sure they're detoxifying their body properly afterwards. And then get their body back into homeostasis. And just know that the at least 3 days after, sometimes even longer, but at least 3 days after a child is to have a bunch of artificial chemicals, processed foods, dyes, things of that nature, junk that is screwing up their system, they're going to probably have behavior issues until they regulate again, until they're able to regulate again through the detoxification process. If you are to do a little bit every day, then you're going to know that every single day the body is trying to, when your child goes to sleep, their body is going to get into a detoxification state, because that's what happens when we sleep. Our liver starts to detox and our whole body, our skin, everything starts to detox, but especially the liver, and starts pushing out toxins. And so it's trying to go into that back into homeostasis, harmony, where we want it, so that the emotions and mood and decision making is all back into place. But then the next day you dump a little bit more toxins on the body, then it has to start over and start over. So every single day that you do this, you're starting over and starting over and starting over. So if we're to work together and talk about a plan for you, this is what it might look like. So if your child first will learn how to, number one, they want to have a diet that is customized, meeting their own individual needs. We use the integrative nutrition plate, a special tool, to customize their diet plan. And then you decide what days are going to make sense to go off that plan if it's worth it to you. Sometimes it's worth it and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's really like you get to be really strict about it because you're done with the behaviors. You're just done. You know, that usually parents will say, you know what, I can't stand it anymore. I'm to the point where these behaviors are so bad and I'm so overwhelmed and exhausted, I'm done. And unfortunately, we have to get to that really bad place to be done sometimes. And so not done forever, but done during a special amount of time. Usually it's 90 days. 90 days can help you to get your body back into restoration if you actually follow the plan for 90 days to follow a diet plan. It isn't so restrictive. It is adding in nourishment that your body needs to detox and cleanse. It is pouring in a lot of things so that naturally we can crowd out things that your child doesn't need in their system, and only adding in those, my thing said connection lost. Okay, I think I'm back. So it says wireless connection not working again. And now it says I'm back again. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, by the way, if you guys are watching on the replay or live, be sure to comment so that I know who is on, and I would love to say hello to you. So what I was trying to say is this, is that you get to decide on how you would like to do things, but there's going to be a time where you make that decision and you kind of draw a line in the sand. Like, we have to take our health more seriously. I know you want that pizza, but here's the thing. That pizza that you're looking at right now is going to make our family go through a really hard time for the next week because your behavior is so out of control, okay? Or whatever it is. But here's the thing. I still eat pizza. My son still eats pizza. You just have to, we've got recipes in our new customer base group, and we are putting together like exactly what your children can eat and you can eat that is the pizza, but it's the healthy version of the pizza. You still have really yummy foods, but the healthy version of those foods, if that makes sense. So, for example, like the pizza cauliflower crust would be a better example than the regular gluten-based crust. So you can still have the pizza. Organic tomato sauce over tomato sauce that is non-organic, because tomatoes are one of the top sprayed fruits of all of our food with glyphosate. So we need to make sure it's organic so we know it's not sprayed. Like, this is just an example. You know, cheese that is from grass-fed organic beef or organic vegetarian cheese. Like, those are a couple options. Cheese that's real cheese, not artificially modified, chemical-based cheese. So do you see how you can still have the pizza? You know, candy. There's candy out there that is sweetened with monk fruit instead of sugar. And monk fruit is a much healthier version. It's still very sweet and yummy. You can get some organic, organic, non-sugary monk fruit, but still sweet, delicious candy out there. So just make healthy swaps. So these are some examples of some things that you guys can do, like some steps, because I want you to be able to thrive in your new year. And sometimes it takes a helping hand of a person to help you follow the steps, follow the system. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a push, and that's okay, because it's hard to parent and it's hard to make decisions when there's so many fast food places out there and restaurants and grocery stores that are terrible for us, and they're advertising and marketing to us all the time and to our kids. And the great thing about it is that you first got to start with yourself and just making those foods for yourself and those choices for yourself. And when you do that for yourself, you're not telling your kids to do it. They're watching you. So you go and you make the food and you put it together, and it's delicious, and it's, organic whole foods, right? And you're like eating it and you're like, this is so good. This is so healthy. I'm working on my New Year's goals. I'm going to work. This is the goals I'm working on. You're just saying that out loud, and you're just excited about it. You're writing them down. You're journaling about it. You're putting your goals up on the wall out loud, like doing this, not in private, but with your family seeing you. Your kids will watch you. Man, especially those teenagers, but all kids, no matter what, they're going to watch you. So preaching at them, yelling at them isn't going to be effective. Just doing it yourself first, that's effective. And then they're going to watch you. And you can say, hey, I just did this. It's working for me. Now you do it. This is helping with mommy's emotions. This is helping with me. Now you do it. The best diet for you is the one that is for you. The best diet for your child is the one that's best for your child. There's no best diet. There's no perfect diet. There's no diet pushing, in my programs either. So we want to customize your plan to make it work for you using our IIN Institute of Integrative Nutrition plate. So there's a base plate. And you can look at the base plate of like what kinds of foods that are the most nutritious, and then you can kind of customize it that makes it work for your body, because some people will need like more protein than others, or more fruit than others. Some people will need more water than others. It just depends on the person's body. So customizing it for yourself and for your child is really important. One person's medicine or food as medicine, like peanut butter, could be, oh my gosh, this is nutritious. I'm gonna make peanut butter rolls or peanut butter bites, little protein bites. It's so good and it's delicious and it's helping me. Well, another person, excuse me, can make a peanut butter bite and they're allergic to peanut butter. And they're going to go into anaphylactic shock, and they're going to end up in the hospital because they're allergic. Do you see why we make sure to you customize it to your children, to yourself? You don't push a specific diet on somebody. So that's your physical needs. Okay, so we need to talk about physical needs. Your body, you talk about your mind, and we get to talk about your spirit. Balancing all of these, your mind, body, and spirit, really helps activate your potential as a parent to be the best version of you. So physically, that's the food we're eating in. So just to conclude, another thing I really suggest, because it's almost impossible to get in enough nutrients in your system these days, because our soil is so depleted. And so because the soil is depleted, there's not enough minerals getting into the plant. So if there's not enough minerals getting into the plant and vitamins getting into the plant, it's not getting into you either. So that is why I highly suggest a superfood smoothie every single day. And then I also suggest our detoxification process every single day. at least for 90 days while you're balancing yourself out. It's a lifestyle, so you can do maintenance, and then you can do a full system in the first 90 days to really cleanse and nourish the cells. So if you want my recipe, my superfood smoothie recipe, just comment recipe. Let's see, comment superfood recipe, and I will put that in the chat, please, and then I will send it to you. My superfood smoothie recipe. Put that in the comments. So there's a specific one for focus. I call it my focus smoothie. This focus smoothie has it's a blend of these really potent, delicious, organic, whole food, superfood powders that are dehydrated, solar dehydrated without heat, and some of them dehydrated on a very low heat in order to keep all the nutrients intact, and they're in these powder forms, and so they're still alive. They're alive, and when you add water to them, they become vibrant, just like you were eating like a fresh fruit and vegetables and salad, like you're eating it fresh as soon as you add water to the powder. So that's part of the mixture. And to really restore the cells, you're going to heal at the cellular level, get all the nutrients you're needing in. The vitamins are going to go in the places that your body it's supposed to go to. So if your child or you are nutrient deficient in some way, it can restore any of those deficiencies. Okay, and then the smoothie also, then you would put some drops of, so if your child's having focus issues, we're going to put these herbal drops called Kids in Focus. It's a little tincture. Put it in the smoothie and mix it in. You can blend this like with some ice and a banana or other fruit and blend it all up. So yummy. It's an appleberry flavor for one of them, and then there's another version that's a chocolate flavor. And then inside of the smoothie, you also would put what we call Biomedic. Biomedic is the only clinical product out there on the market that I'm aware of, that I've ever seen, and that's what the companies let us know, that we partner with now, that is clinically proven to remove glyphosate, that herbicide that's found in Roundup, out of the body. And glyphosate is sprayed on all of our crops, and it's sprayed on the grass outside in your neighborhoods and at your schools. So if your kids are outside playing in the playground, playing at a park, playing in the playground at school, or anything like that, they're exposed to this glyphosate herbicide from the grass. If your child is eating fruit, vegetables, wheat, potatoes, any type of crops, which we need in our system, and it's not 100% organic, and it's not away from anybody that is spraying, then they're gonna have glyphosate inside of their body. If your child is breathing in air by any farm that sprays, they're gonna have glyphosate in their body. If you or your children are drinking any water that is near anywhere that has been sprayed, you're gonna have glyphosate in your body. Almost everyone does have glyphosate in their body because it is everywhere. And so what that's doing, there's tons of lawsuits going on right now, and there has been, because glyphosate is proven to cause cancer, and it is also associated with things like brain issues like ADHD, autism, Alzheimer's, dementia, bowel issues like IBS, leaky gut syndrome, asthma, allergies, tons of stuff. I mean, this stuff is a horrible toxin. You've got to remove it out of your system. So this glyphosate remover is also going to be in the smoothie. It's in what they call it Biomedic. So the Biomedic has the glyphosate remover. Also, it has a essential probiotic blend and prebiotics to really flourish that gut health and restore the gut, which was what we really need. We need to restore the gut. So this smoothie, just can you imagine, just if your child is to add in this smoothie and change their diet around, how much of an improvement you can get from these physical things? Now, also, we need to think about God is at the center of that. So it's what God is wanting us to eat. That is what we eat. And otherwise, we are working to restore our system. So now let's think about so mind, body, and spirit. I talked about body and physically. Let's talk about spiritually. You absolutely, if your child is doing all the right things, if you're doing all the right things physically, there's still going to be a gap in your health, because having a sense of purpose in life is so profound that it can cause the greatest of depression and unmotivate anybody. It can put us in an extremely bad mood, not want us to do things. Try to give a child things to do that they have no intrinsic motivation to do, no motivation from the heart. It's going to be really hard. They need to have some reason they're doing what they're doing, a bigger purpose for life. So if they're going to school, it's because they want to become a veterinarian, because they want to help animals, because that's part of their life purpose that they believe that God brought them on the earth for. Do you see how that's more motivating? You know, like your child gets to pray and ask God and trust their intuition and learn how to develop their intuition, just like you, if you are, you're their leader. So you really praying, there's deep prayers and asking God, please show me the meaning of my life. Please show me what you want from me. Please guide me. And then look for those signs, because God will show you those signs. God just shows me signs all the time when I'm looking. And when I stop praying and I stop asking, the signs aren't there. I start struggling. But when I have faith and I say, God, please show me the sign, like what it is that you want from me today. And I'm okay with whatever happens, because I know it's going to be for the greater good of myself and what God wants and for all. That is what matters. And when we teach our kids this, you know, that they're here for a reason. They have a purpose in life that God wants for them. This is a huge part of their spirituality. We also teach about this inside of our online course. And so only thinking of the physicality of things and not the spirituality of things isn't going to work. We need both. And so hopefully that makes sense. And your mind, you know, what are you feeding your mind with? Are you watching the news? The news is scary. It's terrifying. It's fear-based. The marketing out there is all about trying to make you scared and fearful. So stop watching the news unless it's something extremely urgent or an emergency that you have to know about. But even in those cases, sometimes those things are just not true. A lot of this stuff is not true. You know, the music you're listening to, what is your child listening to? What kind of screen time are they having? Are they playing violent video games? Are they watching violent TV? What is feeding your kid's mind? What is feeding your mind? So thinking about that, you know, we've got to nourish the body in mind, body, and spirit, you know? And when we do this, we start to see restoration in our system, healing in our system. we start to feel balanced and harmonized. The ADHD that we once had, well, was it really ADHD, or was it just the body wasn't balanced? The body wasn't in harmony. You can decide. I believe that ADHD is a diagnosis. It's just a slap of a label somebody put on so we could call it something, so that we'd have a name for the symptoms we're experiencing, so that the pharmaceutical industries would have a reason to have your kids pop pills. There's actually a history of why the government started giving children Adderall and Ritalin for ADHD, and why they labeled it. I mean, they wanted to make kids fall in line and do what they want and sit still. It wasn't because they wanted them to be healthy. They just wanted to create order. So that's another piece of why I do what I do, because your child, if your child really just can restore the mind, body, and spirit, and you can restore your relationship with your children, and you can also work on yourself, you're going to start to see a difference. So this is what I want to do, is invite you in to a phone call with me if you want to talk a little bit more about what's going on with you. I have a couple new things going on in January, and kind of depending on where you're at. So if you are brand new to me, then we have the ADHD Parenting Success System course. This is a course that will help walk you through everything I was just talking about to restore your body in mind, body, and spirit, starting with yourself. And your children are going to be doing it with you. So you're going to do it with your children. You're going to be working with me and going inside the course, getting, the lessons in there and the tools in there and following the steps. And this can drastically help your child's health and reduce those ADHD symptoms without the need for medications, without the need for endless cycles of therapies, which a lot of parents end up coming to me after they've had a lot of therapy, and it's just not working, because that's what the therapy system is designed for. It's designed to keep you coming back over and over and over and over again. It's not really designed to heal a person fully, but it does take time. So even, if you're in my system, we have to follow the system or it doesn't work. We really have to finish the system. We have to go through the entire course. The only way we fail is if we stop or we give up. But it's okay. You're always able to go back and do it again and try again. There's always hope for another day, another tomorrow. So another thing I'm doing is for clients of mine who are either current clients or old clients. There are discounts available to help you to get your health back on track, to get you back on track, to move you forward in whatever place that you're in right now, because I know the life happens, and so we tend to go up and down. So things might improve, and you might have come in and gotten some improvement, and then maybe some life events happen and you need help again. So I'm here to help you. If you're a current client of mine and you're already in one of my programs, what we have is discounts on our superfood and detoxification systems, which is super exciting. And we have some free coaching that you get to have with that. We have for old clients, we have discounts on coaching for old clients coming back. So really, what I want to offer is just a complimentary connection call, because then I can know where you're at, what is it you need, and then I will show you what the solution would be, like which program or what's the best fit, so we can help you get back on track for the new year. January 6th, we are starting a group cleanse. Me and a bunch of other experts in nutrition and detoxification are all inside of this very special VIP group together, where we are helping everyone who gets on the system, the detox system, the superfood system I was talking about. Anyone who's on this superfood detox system gets to be inside of our VIP group, and we're gonna walk you step by step how to detox, what foods to eat, what to take, and specifically for what I'm doing personally is coaching my own customers and clients extra. So, but I have nutrition experts who are inside this group with me, and we are all doing motivation and mindset work and walking you through exactly what to do to detox the system so that you can balance the emotions, balance the mood, help yourself feel good and amazing and thrive in 2025, and help your kids feel amazing and thrive in 2025, and your spouse or partner if you have one as well. Your whole family can do this together. So put call in the comments if you want me to reach out to you, or just send me a direct message and I would be happy to get on a call and chat with you. Okay, last thing, we did an amazing 3-day free class called Breakdowns to Breakthroughs back in October. So many people have been reaching out asking for the recordings or replays of this class. We took a quiz, and this quiz was all about understanding if the microbiome was impacting your child's ADHD, so you could find out if that was one of the contributors. We took that quiz live, and you get to have this free quiz right in your email. So if you want this class and this quiz to take it, and yeah, then just comment free 3-day class, and I will give you the link to that class. So lots of great things here, and I'm just so excited, and I hope we can all thrive together in 2025. So thanks for listening, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.